Connor, hey, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm really good. So happy. Actually got a chance to watch your
Oh,
show.
great.
I got to
I
see
haven't seen it yet myself.
all of season 3, and what I think I like most about this season is it felt like a season 3. It felt like a complete season, not like a continuation, like a 2.5, because I know that you
Yeah.
had shot them back to back. Did What was that like for you? Did you have like a demarcation point, or did you sort of dip into
Yeah.
both?
I mean, it was back to back. We shot for a full year, but we had like a week between where the company kind of went down. So, I mean, it wasn't a proper hiatus or anything, but we had a little bit of time. And season three, like you said, is really quite different than season two in a lot of ways. Some
Mhm.
different characters, different villains, different, completely different plots. In a way, season two felt like a continuation or like a um, the second chapter of season one, and season three is very much its own thing. So it wasn't that hard for us, I think, to think of it as a different um, beast.
Mhm.
Um, Also, like shooting in Canada, we shot season two in the fall and the winter, and then we shot season three in the spring and the summer. So it felt different.
Mhm.
Uh, so that was I had never shot for that long before. It was fun.
And also at the end of season 2, you leave. Your character is
Yes,
gone.
yeah, there's that.
So we don't even know coming into season 3 how that's going to shake out, how that's going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's left, which is a big change, but also he's decided to allow himself to forget about magic.
Mhm.
So when you meet him in season three, he doesn't remember any of it. I mean, he doesn't remember basically all of the events of the first two seasons. So he's in a not only is he in a different physical place, but he's in a completely different mental and emotional place. He's sort of kind of swapped places with Nina, with his mom, because she spent all of the first two seasons confused and out of the loop and feeling like she was missing something, like there was something going on around her that she couldn't quite put her finger on. And that's now where Tyler is. So it was I'd gone from two seasons of a very specific energy and mode and into a completely opposite one. So it was fun to change up.
I've never got a chance to ask you, what do you look at when you're looking at your own show? Like, do you enjoy the themes of magic? Do you look at magic as sort of, the story to me a lot, especially in this season, is about the family and about
Yeah.
the family trauma, overcoming the family trauma, the effects that it has, the personal trauma. Certainly you're dealing with your own as well. What element of the show do you really sort of grab onto?
That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot. I think that at the core of it, even as the show got bigger and more characters and plots were introduced and more twists and turns, we got we got thrown down more paths. The thing that I felt like I always returned to if I ever felt lost or confused or out of myself was the sense of kind of this foundational sense of loss that this family has had since the beginning of the show, and the huge urge that came out of that to stay together and to protect each other, um, and to try and forge a new definition of what their family could be. And to me, that's the thing that always made the most sense. I mean, there's lots of other stuff that's so much fun. I mean, all of the magic and all the plot and all of the color and light and noise is like a lot of fun on the day. But that's the thing I think that if I ever felt adrift, was always there.
So I've noticed that so many shows this year now seem to be about that, seem to be about trauma,
Yeah,
shared trauma, family trauma.
I wonder why.
Well, yeah, the collective
Yeah,
situation, but also, so many people feeling alone and isolated during a pandemic and
yeah.
the state of the world. Although your show, I think, a lot of other ones are quite hopeless. And I think that there's a message of hope in your show.
Yeah, I think definitely the one of the driving um, principles of Locke Key was always that despite the fact that our show is about loss and there's the characters go through a lot of trauma. I mean, Tyler is deeply traumatized by a lot of things that have happened, and there's danger and there's violence and there's certain intensity. But despite all of that, we want the show to be fun. We want it to be. It's so much like the shows that and movies that I grew up watching and loving, and we want it to be something that a family can sit down and watch together and just have fun. And that's doesn't that doesn't come at the expense of those themes. It actually works with them. I mean, it makes them more potent, and the themes being effective, I think, makes the fun more meaningful. So yeah, we despite everything our characters go through, the show does believe in family and in love and in imagination and in fun.
What has it meant that, your relationships with the family in real life have so heightened and deepened?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the real fun things about I've done a little bit of TV now, and it's one of like the unique pleasures of TV versus movies is that you get this just enormous amount of time with people. I mean, we shot over 3 years, and especially in the last 2 seasons, shooting them back to back, we shot for a year straight. So that, I mean, we were part of each other's lives. I mean, we really integrated into each other. I mean, we became like, I mean, when you do a movie, you spend 5 weeks or 6 weeks with people and then you go away. But spending a year is a different thing, And we got properly close. I mean, like, some of my friends that I've made on the show are going to be my best friends for my life, I think. And that's pretty rare. I mean, it's easy to say that, but I think I actually mean it this time. And it's especially with Emilia and Jackson and Darby, and there's this sort of, by the end especially, there was this automatic quality that we just felt very comfortable with each other. And I hope that registers, but whether it registers or not, it definitely made the job easier and more fun. And we kind of felt like the Locks probably felt like we'd been through it all. Like by the end, we felt like we had battled every possible configuration of danger. We'd been in every room. We'd been in. We could literally walk around the set of Key House and point in every corner and say that's where we did that, and that's where we did this, and over there is where we did this, and that's where that happened. It felt like we had memories, like sort of like we had lived in this house. So it was very like meaningful by the end.
So I've got to ask you on that note, did you hold on to anything physical?
I really should have. I'm always bad. I always feel like maybe it's the Canadian in me. I always feel guilty stealing things, but no one else seems to feel guilty. So everyone else has keys and little bits of the sets and costumes. I have nothing. I mean, I didn't take anything.
You didn't take anything.
Not a single thing. No. I mean, I really should have taken a key. I was
Yeah.
in my mind, I was like, oh, they're really expensive. Like they're really like they're proper props. Like I can't just take one, and I should ask, and then I forgot to ask, and meanwhile everyone just has them. So
That
it's
is like a
my
very Canadian
but it's
thing for
okay.
that.
I'm okay though. I feel like I'm not really a big memento person. I mean, I
Mm.
don't really like it doesn't if I had a key, I would just be like on a drawer and I would never look at it. So I don't feel like that heartbroken. I feel like I have memories which hopefully will last a little bit longer. So I'm not heartbroken.
What if you could have a key like on the show in real life?
Well, I always used to say the anywhere key because it's obviously the most useful. But
Mhm.
in this new season, we introduced this key called the this creation key, which is like a
Mm.
pencil, and whatever you draw or write with it, it becomes real, which I think is so cool. And it only comes in the last few episodes of the show, so we don't really get to fully explore the potential of that one. But I feel like we could have fun with that.
Yeah. And also the house. You talk about the house and the memories of the house. Had
Yeah.
you ever been, I mean, in your experience filming, had you ever seen such a well-designed, sort of multifunctional place?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty remarkable because we had multiple stages that had the different floors of the house, and then we had this incredible exterior that they had built. They got this abandoned lot outside of Toronto, and built the entire exterior of the house, and not just the house, but the entire property, all the landscaping, the well house, the garden sheds, the garage, the driveways, the trees, everything was built. I had never seen anything on that scale, and the detail, the attention to detail, is almost sad, because you can never, no matter how many seasons or scenes you have set in these locations, you can never appreciate when you watch the show just how much work and thought has been put into these sets. Especially, you have a shot of me or us, and it's like the set is out of focus in the background, and really the focus should be on the set. It's much more interesting than us.
So you got to go to some really interesting places this season. I caught one moment. I don't know if you even had known this or if it was intentional or what. In episode 7, you're one of the characters, you're kind of within their mind, sort of seeing what they're seeing. And there's a movie marquee. And one of the movies that's playing is White Lie. So that my mother told me.
Oh, yeah. No, I hadn't made that connection. I feel like that was an accidental overlap.
Wow.
Yeah,
I thought that was some sort of callback, because
no.
It felt too connected from. And by the way, I really enjoyed that movie.
Me too. I mean, I'm such a small part of that movie. That's like a movie that I feel I have no ownership over, because that's my friends Calvin and Yona made that wonderful movie, and I just feel proud to have any small association with it. But no, I feel like that was just a coincidence. I mean, they had all these not unlike in Kinsey's head mall, when you have memories of dad and first Christmas and all that. It's sort of the same thing. They came up with these really funny marquees and little posters and stuff for what might be playing inside of Gordy's head.
I just want to ask you, because there's this show and there's so many things on Netflix right now. I mean, your friend Andy now is going to be on Outer Banks, and I did this interview a few months back with Kit Connor, who's from Heartstopper.
I love Kit.
What's been going on with all of these sort of Netflix connections with you and people around you?
I definitely think it's because of me. I definitely think that all these people it's obviously a direct result of being friends with me, I'd like to think. So they should, I hope that my thank you letters and gifts are in the mail. But no, I mean, I'm just very happy that I feel fortunate that I have friends who I love outside of whatever work they do, who are doing such wonderful things and not only making wonderful work, but having that work seen by the sort of audience and appreciated by the sort of audience that Netflix has worldwide, which is like unparalleled, obviously.
How's it going with your movie that you've been talking about directing your film? I got to talk with you for your short. For a time, it was going to be Simon's Forest. How's that been coming along for you?
Well, it's totally different now. So I'll report back hopefully when it comes out. But I mean, it's unrecognizable now from the thing that it was whenever we spoke about that. I mean, it's gone through a lot of different shapes and forms, and breaking and re-breaking and trying to put it back together. I feel like it's in a better place now. So I'm coming off of the sort of the pandemic and the marathon of Locke Key. I've been really excited to get back into it properly, which is what I've been spending most of this year doing. So hopefully the next time I talk to you, it will be about that, and that would be really lovely.
On that note, I just want to say how much I enjoy talking with you in particular.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the thoughtful question.
Getting the opportunity was so great. So thanks again. And
thanks so much, Charles.